I'm gonna spin the tires a little bit. Oh, like a boss, all right.
Classic muscle cars are wonderful things. They're beautiful to look at, they sound fantastic, and they're fun to drive. But it takes a guy like Nick to get them to perform at their best by taking care of the countless little details.
I've got a customer here who brought in a 440 that's fixed up a little bit for some horsepower. So he's asked me to open it up and look at the engine. But as I opened it up, I found a set of closed chamber heads with a 915 casting. And he had the 208 intake valve and the 1/600 exhaust valve. Well, that's a very old head. But today with a 440, we all go to the, which also comes from the factory, with all 440s with a 174 exhaust valve, which is a lot bigger. So what I'm doing in this cylinder head is I'm going to replace all 8 exhaust valves from a 1/600 to a 174, which you can see is slightly bigger. You see it? So in this case, what you have to do is we use the stones to open up the valve seat to accept the 174, which is bigger, over the 1/600. And at the same time, I have to also open up the port, which is right here. So now we got the seat grinded open to a 174. Now I'm just gonna open up the guts on the inside. Of course, putting a bigger valve, you also need a bigger runner to let the air in also, or should I say the air out on the exhaust side. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take my grinder. I'm not gonna do a full porting job. What I'm gonna do is just gonna grind it open slightly, just to make the opening so I can get more air out. And then at the same time, I'm gonna grind a little bit on the intake port, just to take out the rough edges. It's not exactly porting out the heads a lot, it's just called cleaning out the bowl area. The bowl area is the area behind the valve head. This is the valve head right here, and this is the area where the cylinder head sits right here. So you want to blend it so there's no sharp edges, which are these over here. I'm going to do one right now for an example so I can show you guys. So this way the air flows in much smoother in, and then also flows out much easier also. So I'm going to start grinding one with an exhaust side right now. As you can see, if you look closely, it's very small. So I'm going to open it up and take a good look what I'm going to do. And here we are. This is a simple grinder, which is made for cast iron. Here we go. And at the same time, while you're doing this, you got to make sure that you don't hit the seat. So we're just going to work only on the bowl area, which is inside the cylinder head behind the valve. And by the way, this is a simple way of getting horsepower. It's free horsepower. All you got to do is remove metal in the right place, and then you're good for a few horses. Let's take a look at what we're doing. Just took a rough cut. We'll do a little bit more. Take out all the sharp edges. And we're just about finished. when you port out heads, you do the same procedure. But in this case, we're not porting out the heads. We're just doing a blend work, or let's just say blend work on the intake and exhaust, and also opening up the exhaust a little bit to make up for the 174 valve. Let's see what we got here. Now, if you take a good look from the top, you can see the opening on the exhaust here is much bigger than this one. This is the one I just blended, and this is the one that's not touched yet. You can see it's pretty sharp here. You see the sharp edges? Now look at this. This is blended in. It's all rounded off, which gives it a nice smooth flow. I'm going to do all exhaust valve bolts area exactly like this one. Smooth them out, blend it nice, so we can have a nice flow on the exhaust side. This is a prehistoric, I believe, a 1965 and earlier valve. And this one is a 174, which all 440s have nowadays. I don't know why he's running, somebody built the engine for him last year. He's building a 440 high performance motor. They used the 915 casting heads for more compression with, of course, the exact 208 intake valve, but they left the exhaust valves 1600, which is a big no-no. Maybe an earlier 383 with the 1600 is okay. But if you're gonna go to a 440 with some performance, you gotta go with the 174 exhaust valve. And this is exactly what we are doing here. I'm just gonna blend it in a little bit more, and then I'm done with it. But if you want, you just turn the head over, like so. Then we see the opposite end over here now. And here we go. I'm just gonna blend it in a bit more and also trim the valve guide. And that's about it. And here we go. Blow it out now. So let's check the exhaust port, what I just done. And here it is. This is the way I'm letting it finish. The valve seat is done. It's opened up to the 174. I did some cleanup in the bowl area. Not heavy port work whatsoever. Just a little bit of cleanup, which I'm going to do. I'll also clean up also on the intake side later on. But in the moment right now, I just want to show you the exhaust, the difference, what I've done, and OAK from the factory. And there you go. If you look closer, you'll see a difference. It's blended, it's smooth. This is sharp, and it's smaller, and this is larger. You know, this is a mass production cylinder head, and you see this little, just little metal removing is instant horsepower, easy horsepower. All you have to do is get a cutting bit with a little bit of knowledge, just smooth out the bowl area, and it's a few horsepower at no extra cost. And if you guys, you know, like I said, if you want to clean out the bowl area to remove all the sharp edges, you got to be very careful that you don't touch the valve seat, and of course, don't go too deep and get into the water jackets. But besides that, it's all good stuff. The safest way to do it is always to bring it to a pro who's done porting on cylinder heads, so that you make sure that there's no mistakes done on the cylinder head. Because if you do anything wrong, if you port it out the wrong way, or if you go too deep, then of course it's a scrap head.
Nick has worked on so many classic engines at this point that he could probably port out a set of original heads with his eyes closed. But he still enjoys every day working with American muscle cars.
We've got our Marx Boss 302 Mustang here. We installed the engine, the clutch, and of course a few pieces. And of course it needs a car wash, but I'm not gonna wash it yet. I wanna take it for a drive, see how the clutch works, motor goes, and brakes, of course. We've done the suspension work, brake job, and so forth. So I'm gonna take it for a little drive. Even though the plates, I believe, are expired, I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna go around the block just to try it out for safety so I can deliver the car. So in the meantime, let's hop in and go for a ride. go. I've never driven this car before. Here we go. Clutch is engaging. Boy, this car needs a wash, all right. Brakes are working, so we're good for a drive. No power steering in this car. And this is a Boss 302 1970. This is a unique car, rare car. And here we go, let's go for a ride. After what, 25 years in storage, and here it is, back on the road. Wow, this is something. There we go. I'm not gonna kill it, or should I say, put it to the pace, because I've got no plates on this car. They're not renewed yet for the province of Quebec. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna take it easy. What I'm concerned is that the steering is okay, the clutch is working. I want to know that the transmission is gonna shift. We did not touch the transmission. All we did was put back the clutch with the engine. We had the flywheel refaced and balanced with the motor, of course. Shift's good, speedometer working, tach working. And let's see, fuel gauge is working. Next, let's check the temperature gauge. Here we go. Oh, like a boss, all right. It sure feels good to drive a Boss 302 Mustang, let me tell you. Something different, something unique. Oh, and something's got loose in the trunk. Got a beautiful sound to it. And of course, all Boss Mustangs come with manual transmissions. Third, fourth, this is unique, Boss 302. Not bad, haven't driven one in 30 years. Well, I'm gonna take it for another ride. It's a weekday, so I gotta take it easy. It's an industrial park area. I'm aware of that, but you know what? I'm not gonna go crazy with it. I know the car runs good, sounds good, and of course, it stops. It works fine. So now let's get it washed and have it ready for delivery. Well, one thing I need to know if it has a positive traction. I'm going to spin the tires a little bit. Not much, just a bit. Here we go. People think I'm crazy, so let's take it easy here now. God, no power steering, you know. This is pretty unique. Last time I driven a Boss 302 was back in 1974 when my brother Phil used to have one. And air quotes, this is good. But you know what? This car needs a good wash to look good, let me tell you. It runs good, drives like a Boss 302. And you know what? I can't wait to deliver it to Mark. And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.